అవునా? Well, but everyone feels that mathematics has a phobia. So I feel very difficult to learn mathematics, sir. I will give a small example. When I visited one of the Doon school at Bangalore, he said, of course, just take a survey so of the children who are interested in which subject. Like, I attended it. I asked the children, so which subject you like most? They said physical science, they said biological science, they said social studies, but no one says mathematics their favorite subject. Okay. And next I will ask, who is your favorite teacher? When I asked favorite teacher, they said their physical education teacher is a favorite teacher, the language teacher is their favorite teacher, a biological science teacher is the favorite teacher, but no one says mathematics teacher is a favorite teacher. Basically I am a maths teacher, so I feel little bit of jealousy. Then I asked what is the reason for it. Then so many children raise their hands to say the answer. Okay, I asked one by one. So what is the first reason? Say, I asked one of the guy. Then he said, sir, when my maths teacher entered into the classroom, he will start the lesson. Today I am going to explain a very important chapter. You have to listen it carefully, otherwise you will fail in the exam. This is an introduction taken by the maths teacher. So some of the children already they are feeling that maths is a very difficult, and maths teacher announced that this chapter is very difficult. They have to listen it carefully. Means the children who are struggling for learning mathematical concept, they will decide at the moment, okay, and generally so they won't listen. Correct? So that's the reason they doesn't like a maths teacher. Okay, maybe it's, I said it's a strategical problem. So the teacher doesn't know how to start a mathematical class. Okay, I asked the next guy. Sir, he said, write the x equal to 2 and y equal to 3, then find the value of x plus y whole power x. Sir, where we will use x and where we will use y, and where we will use quadratic equations and where we will use trigonometric functions? Is this are applicable in our daily life situation? For example, if the biological science teacher takes a class, he said, okay, so when you feel hungry, so what is your sensation? Some of the children will say, sir, I am observing some sounds in my stomach, sir, like water bubblings like comes. What is the reason? In the layer of stomach, so hydrochloric acid will be released when you feel hungry. So when hydrochloric acid is poured in water, bubbles will come, that kind of sensation. So it's a cause of sensation of hungriness. Okay, so every children experience that experience. So they won't feel a biological sense as a new thing, and it is a part of their daily life situation. When you say physical science, for example, so in physical science the teacher will say, children, we are playing a cricket, no? So see, there is a ground, in the ground the children are playing cricket. One boy is, of course we will call it as a bowler, his bowling is ball, and other one batsman is just he push the ball in one corner. Okay, so can you say how the ball will travels? So they will say in like a carousel. Okay, we call it as a parabolic path. So for example, if the fielder want to hold the ball perfectly, then what will he do? So he will hold his hands and just put down little bit and move towards his body. What is the reason? So here when the ball comes immediately rest, then it hurts more and gives more stress on the hands. Maybe the fielder can drop that catch, correct? But when he push down and pushing towards the body means it takes much more time, than the applied force will be less and he can hold the ball easily. So, the children experience those things, they won't feel it is a away from our daily life situation, clear. And if even the graphs also, how the ball will projected and where it moves, whether it touches the leg stump or like, so each and every one they are experiencing, am I correct or not? So, like even social studies also, in social studies they will say the demand, supply and other things, geographical things or historical things, they are observing with different documentaries or movies or series or other things. So, they are observing, so definitely they feel that are very interesting. But when you come into the even languages also, even language also feels that of course the mother tongue, for example if it is Telugu, so the Telugu teacher will sing the songs of course of the poem in a extraordinary way. So, the people will feel happy, they will enjoy it. There is an art, correct, they will say about the culture. So, and they can understand each and everything. So, they feel that any language is comfortable for them. So, only mathematics becomes difficult. The reason is we are not explaining the concepts, how these concepts are connected with the daily life situation. That is the most important. You know that the textbooks are written as one process, that is called, you have to start the lesson with the notion of the chapter, means how the chapter is developed. Should not announce the chapter name immediately if you want to start the class. So, just test some by taking the prerequisites and previous knowledge, and it should be like a storytelling method or a skit or something else, like a chit chat, like a debate, like a brainstorming. These are the different strategies to apply to start the notion of the chapter. After that, the teacher has to explain the concept, then he has to do some constructive questions, then he has to do some worked examples, then he has to ask the children to simply do the exercise questions, and he has to recapitulate the things what they learn. Among all these, the notion is the most important, means how the chapter is concerned with the daily life situation. So, now I will take one by one. So, we have 5 areas in the mathematics. So, how this each one is connected with the daily life situation, how we are going to explain those things, correct? Okay. So, let me start with the number system. Okay. So, we have 5 areas, just I will write the 5 areas, then see how all the 5 areas. The first one is number system or number theory. And the second one, you know that algebra, and the third one is we can say arithmetics, and the fourth one you know that geometry, and fifth one is data interpretation. Okay. In the geometry it comes as 2 areas, you know that one is called a mensuration and other one is called the coordinate geometry. Okay. In the data interpretation you know that statistics will come, probability also comes. Okay. Like number theory, the rest of things we will discuss it one by one. So, these are the actual 5 areas. One is called number theory, second one is called algebra, third one is arithmetics, fourth one is geometry, and fifth one is data interpretation. Okay. Now, coming with the number theory. Without numbers there is no life. Am I correct or not? I said there are 5 areas. If I said some areas, is there any meaning for it? Or few areas, no meaning. I have to say numerically there are 5. And see, there is a myth in the minds of the maximum people, means here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 they are saying numbers, are counting numbers, and number has no sense. So, when you express any object, articles or anything with respect to the numericals, then only the number has a meaning. 2 has no meaning, 2 apples has meaning. 5 oranges has meaning, 5 has no meaning. So it is a numerical symbol, clear. So that is the reason when you say 1 2 3 by heart, it 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 like, so that is not the meaning. So we will give connected with the things, then only there is a full meaning, otherwise it is a meaningless, correct. Okay. So 1 2 3 4 5 so on, these are used for counting, so simply we call it as a counting numbers. Naturally we are using, hence we call it as a natural numbers. So everyone will say, so it is easy to explain, the children also never feels that. So definitely if you want to say this is 10 rupees or 100 rupees or 150 rupees or 36 rupees, so like number is using anywhere or correct or not. So number can be used in all the areas. If you want to of course, so purchase one set. So if you will say it is a 34 size or 35 size or 42 size or 36 size, like we have to say that. So for each and everywhere we will apply the number system, this is a numerical, so that is a common thing. But for example, here if I am asked to what is the number of okay, refrigerators in this hall, if I ask to that, there is no refrigerator. So if there is no nothing, if you want to say there is no nothing, so if you want to express these things, so some numerical value is required, that is 0. So 0 is used for saying nothing. So the greatness about the 0 is introduced by our Indian mathematicians only. We can say proudly, so we introduce. So when 0 comes, it gives a completeness, wholeness. Otherwise 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 only. When 0 comes, then we will start with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 like. So now it is an endless, infinite numbers, correct. So all these called the whole numbers, that is okay. Now so explanation of whole numbers also is not a difficult task to anyone, just you have to say from 1 to 10 or 1 to something which are used for the counting and general usage. So and 0, why you are introducing 0 means to give the wholeness. So if you want to represent nothing, so generally we will use the 0, okay. And now coming to the next one is we call it as integers. So integers means here, okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, okay, 0, okay, but you want to represent with the numericals -1 -2 -3 -4. The children has a doubt, what is -1, what is -2, is there any existence of -2 apples or -5 oranges, -10 mangoes? So there is no existence of this, then why you are using minus for it? It is a property, that is a very very important, okay. For example, now if you want to visit any a shopping complex, so many visitors will visit those places, of course, to purchase something else there, correct. So many people will visit there, so they will come by their a scooter, bike, car or some other also 3-wheeler. So they have to park all those things at one place, means so some place should be required for the parking. You know that Hyderabad is a highly populated, density is more, population density is more, so there is no area to park all the vehicles for one shop. So what they are doing, they are constructing some floors below the ground and some floors above the ground, correct. So when you enter into a lift, for example, when you enter into lift, if you see the lift, there is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and before that is a -1, -2, -3, -4. What is this symbol here? 0 says that it is a ground floor, okay, and 1, 2, 3, 4 means here above the ground, that is a first floor, second floor, third floor and fourth floor. When you come into that, so if you want to go down, of course it is in the cellar, so there may be 1, 2, 3, 4 floors there. Already we are using the numerical values, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you again apply the 1, 2, 3, 4, it is difficult to understand. The machine cannot understand this. Then how the machine can understand? How the people can understand? That is the reason they will represent as -1, -2, -3, -4. Means here -1, -2, -3 below 0. Means here it comes under the 0, means ground level. So these floors under the ground and those 1, 2, 3, 4 are above the ground. So under the ground, above the ground, if you want to represent this property, generally we will use the plus and minus. There is no -2, correct. So if you want to say above with respect to one base, then only 2 has a meaning. So it is a 2 floors under the ground floor, then it will be represented as a -2. Otherwise we can say, so 2 floors above the ground we can say +2. So like if you start the class, this is the most important, the notion is the most important. So maths is a part of a daily life situation, so it is not away from our daily life situation. So you have to explain those things, that is a very important. For example, I want to visit Kashmir in the month of December. Okay, so there the temperature, some areas in Manas Sarovar and some other areas, the temperature is less than 0 degrees Celsius, maybe -1, maybe -2, maybe -3, maybe -4. I know that water has enormous expansion. You know that in physics it is a very important property. At 4 degrees Celsius, -4 degrees Celsius, instead of cooling, of course it expands. For that reason at -4 degrees Celsius these fishes and all the things can survive in the water. So the top level layer seems to be like a ice frozen ice, and but below that there is a water which is not in the form of ice. Correct? See, like you have to explain so many examples how the numbers are connected with the daily life situation. That is the most important. Then the children can understand. Okay, so the children can understand, that is a very important. Today I just visited one of our parent meeting for my child today morning. For a first standard, I was very impressed by their way of teaching. The reason is, so they asked to us, to parents meeting, what we are expecting. So generally a class teacher will come and we will ask what is my child response and reflections and observations in the classroom, whether he is doing well or not, whether he is cooperative or not. Like these are the some kind of questions we will ask to the teacher. By the answers we will satisfy, we feel happy. Whether if they provide tea or coffee, then we have it and we will come out. This is a usual parent teacher meeting. Am I correct or not? So but what I find is, so there is activities not for children, for the parents. They perform an activity, call it as a popcorn. So how the popcorn means, how the popcorn will performed by an activity means they will take a parachute model and they drop some balls in it. Everyone hold that and they have to push it up and down, and this how the popcorn will jumps in the when you are heating, so they will come outside. So here, so when you are explaining those things, then how the popcorn will form, how you can apply it, and it's an exercise. It gives a coordination between all the people, a great observation and innovation also. We want to win that there is a innovation means you have to put little bit of slide for the parachute, then the balls will come down from that and escape from the perimeter of the parachute. And of course they used one more call it as different activities, parachute activity, and this what just now I said popcorn activity. Like they use some fancy crazy names for it, at the same time perform it. So why they introduce means here, see, the children will learn these concepts in this manner. When you say all the things by using this chalk and duster or by using the digital form, there is no use. So you should not use the digital format for the primary sections. So simply the children will sleep down. If there is nothing there, the only slides are moving, then there is no use. Am I correct? So here, so that's a very important means here. Our thinking should be innovative. At the same time, we have to inculcate. You have to coordinate with the daily life situation. Then only people will enjoy those things. Clear? This is the most important. And the number theory, like number theory, is a very interesting also. Okay, so, some numbers have a beauty. For example, if you take a 9th table, when you take a 9th table, then you can come to as 9 1s are 9, 9 2s are 18, 9 3s are 27, 9 4s are 36, 9 5s are 45, 9 6s are okay, 54, 9 7s are 63, 9 8s are 72, 9 10s are 90. When you take all these numbers, the sum of the digits again 9. 9 2s are 18, 1 plus 8 9. 9 3s are 27, 2 plus 7 is 9, 9 4s are 36, 3 plus 6 is 9, 9 5s are 45, 4 plus 5 is 9. So the 9 has its beauty. I will give one more example to you. For example, take any 3-digit number or 4-digit number as you wish. I am taking 343. I added 9. Then what is its value? 352. 343 plus 9, 3 plus 4 7, 7 plus 3 10. So its sum of the digits is 10. 3 plus 5 is 8, 8 plus 2 is 10. Sum of the digit is 10. Is there any change in the sum of the digits? Take any number of any digit number, whether 2 digits, 3 digits, 4 digits, 5 digits, 6 digits, whatever it may be. When you add 9 to it, the sum of the digit doesn't change. Okay. So what is the reason here? And there is a 2 exception cases. That is the first one should not be is 0, unit digit should not be 0, and the tens digit should not be 9. These are the 2 conditions, exception cases. For the rest you can apply it. Maybe you have a doubt, what is the reason here? So when you add 9, what you observe it, the unit digit is decreased by 1 unit. It becomes as 2, 3 becomes as 2, means here there is a decreasing of 1 unit, minus 1. So when you take 4 and 5, so tens digit is increased by 1 unit. So we can say it's a plus 1. Am I correct? So one is minus 1, other one is a plus 1. What is the total change? No change. That's the reason it remains same. Like you can say the beauty of the problem. Okay, then the children can enjoy it. Okay, so there is we can play with mathematics. Clear? So like you can explain this, and there are very good methods in the Vedic mathematics also. You can apply Vedic mathematics. Speed mathematics is there. Okay. Recreation with mathematics is there. You have to read all these things and you have to explain those things. For example, if you take any number which is ended with 5, for example, 15 square, you want to find this value. So it is 1. So what is the next number? 2. So 1 2s are. Okay. Okay. Now it is 25 and now 5 squares is 25. What is 1 2s are? 2. So 225 is the answer. If you take 25 whole square, so now 5 square is 25, write the 25 there. 2, what is the next number? 3, 2 3s are 6, answer is 625. Take it as 35 square for example, 5 square 25, 3, what is the next number? 4, 3 4s are 12, 1225, clear? So then the children, if you ask the children what is 45 square, then immediately you will say 20 25, because 4, what is the next number? 5, 4 5s are 20, 5 square 25. So we can play with mathematics, it shows. Okay, we can explain in an extraordinary way. So no need of giving stress to the children. Children today we can play with numbers, ask them and play. The children will enjoy it. And the body language of the teacher should be very good. Body language means you are not very colorful dress and with a makeup, it's not the correct one. So here you should, his movement should be very free, and expression should be invitable. So definitely the children can enjoy these things. So like you have to explain the things which is highly effective at the same time without considering the daily life situations. So if you apply every time, you have to apply for those things where you are using the definitely available, correct? So by using like number theory, you can play with any number and you can enjoy that numbers also. There is a good patterns also there in the number system. Give the patterns, say the patterns and ask them to explain those things. Okay, there is some happy numbers are there, some sad numbers are there, there are perfect numbers are there, there is triangular numbers are there, pentagon numbers are there, correct? Like beautiful kinds of numbers are there, Fibonacci numbers are there. So you can explain all these things. See the beauty of the Fibonacci numbers. I will say the beauty of the Fibonacci numbers. Just in 10th class textbook we try to give the same information. If you take a sunflower, in the sunflower there is some seeds are there and like a circular form. In each circle they are increasing it. First one will be 1, next also 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, and next 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 3 is 5, 3 plus 5 is 8, 5 plus 8 is 13, like in each circle the seeds will be in the same format, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. Then what the next circle means here, 8 plus 13, 21, the children can say. If you have any doubt, take a sunflower and count it. So it's a Fibonacci series. So give them, when you say some information to that, give them and explain it and make it happy to the children. Clear? Okay, I will show one more. And sometimes you have to play with the numbers also. I will give a simple example. You know that pi is equal to 3.14, correct? Simply we will say pi. What is meant by pi? PIE. I am writing this 3.14, just observe this, 3.14 and 3.14. I am writing in a reverse order, mirror image of this. Correct? This is 3.14, take 4, seems to be like 1. What is it? It's a pi. Correct? So see the beauty of the numbers, then you have to explain it. Sometimes you have to lose the mathematical essence also, but it should create the interest. I will give one more example, that is called, now the people are passionate about these junker food. So preparing the foods is difficult for them, for that. So they will see pizzas, burgers and all these things, correct? Now I am taking the same, because you have to run with the present trend, otherwise we will be outdated. So I am taking these pizzas into mathematical concepts. Okay. So what is the shape of pizza? Yeah, it's a cylindrical, because what is cylinder? A pi of circles. You know that how the pizza will be prepared also. There are so many layers, vegetable layers, or the fruit layers, or dry fruits. They will put some different layers on that pizza. So pizza in the form of a cylinder. So I am taking the same. So I am not a good artist, that's the reason just I am taking in terms of mathematical sense only. Clear? Okay. So here I said, so what is pizza now? Spelling P-I-Z-Z-A. Correct? Okay. Now I am taking this value is the radius of the pizza is, I will say, Z. The height of the pizza is A. Then I am going to find the volume of pizza. Volume of pizza. What is the formula for the cylinder? V equal to pi r square h. This is the formula. Now I am taking volume of pizza is equal to, first one is pi r square. What is r here? Z. R square means r into r twice, so z into z. And what is height here? A. So volume of pizza is pizza. Correct? See, it's a little bit funny, correct? At the same time, we can explain the things very interesting. Then the children can learn it as a volume of a cylinder is pi r square h. So that's the most important. So here the creativity is very important. When I visited Anantapur, there one teacher explained the total trigonometry in a simple way. I will explain those things. See, that's a very important. So he has taken one Jendubam advertisement. One lady doing the domestic works, you are seeing that it's telecasting on all the channels. Domestic works, first she will send her children for school, preparing bag, carriages and everything. Then she will send her husband to office. Then she will provide coffee, tiffin to the uncle and auntie. After 3-4 hours domestic work, she feels some backache. Then the Jendubam will come, so she will apply it. So when the backache comes, what is the sound will produced by it? It's a woe. When we feel that oh, or you can say correct? I am writing the same. Here O stands for opposite side. A stands for adjacent side, H stands for hypotenuse, then sin theta is opposite by hypotenuse, cos theta adjacent by hypotenuse, tan theta opposite by adjacent, then cosec, secant and cot they are reciprocals. Over. So it's true, because I visited maximum schools and maximum conferences, I said the same. Even the children who are struggling for the simple calculations also, they are able to recall all these 6 trigonometric functions. So why I said first, I drag the interest of that, whether it is absolutely correct or not. And some more I will give one more example. So throughout the total probability chapter, there is 2 things, so only one formula of 9th and 10th. Okay, so the formula is probability of an event is the favorable outcomes by total outcomes. Okay, so favorable outcomes, when you say some children have a little bit of forgetting power, so they will forget by due to phobia or fear, whatever it may be, consequences he will forget. For that, we are just one teacher suggests that the formula is as a probability of an event. So he has a photo. See, everyone, so every common people or extraordinary people do the one activity. He will see his face through mirror more number of times than any activity. Even now the cell phones are there. So some of the people see the cell phone and they will make a graph of that. See that. So photo. That's a. Now the people are crazy by selfies. Correct. So photo like. He takes the weakness of that people, then he has a photo. Photo, what is spelling actually? PHOTO. Instead of that, he take it as photo. Over. Formula is over. This is favorable outcomes by total outcomes. Favorable outcomes by total outcomes. So children can easily write this formula. So see, so they won't feel probability, so probabilities are difficult to understand, okay, that's a different, but they can say no need of by hearting the formula of probability of an event, correct. So like the children, so even teacher also adapted the daily life situations, then definitely children can understand the concepts easily. He never forgot those things also. This is the most essential. Like you can say infinite hours also about the daily life situation by using a number theory. So okay, now we will shift to the next area of that mathematics is algebra. So when you come into the next one, algebra, you know that, so some algebra means everyone feels that it's a confusing. So there are x, y's repeating that, what is that x square plus y square plus z square, what is this, all these things, so they feel algebra is the most difficult. But algebra has extraordinary application in the daily life situation. We have to give, try to give some good examples in the textbook. Okay, in the textbook already in the chapter of quadratic equations we gave very good. So quadratic equation, ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 is a general form of a quadratic equation where a is greater than 0 and a, b, c are real numbers. Okay, like we gave the definitions. When you say the definition, there is no meaning for the quadratic equation, but you have to say, for example, the racket was projected. Okay, when the racket was projected, then it moves in a parabolic path. When it moves in a parabolic path, its equation is y equal to ax minus bx square. Means it's a quadratic equation. As x changes, y will be changes here. So if you want to know the motion of the racket, you have to use this equation. It's a quadratic equation, so it's a higher order thinking, correct? Okay. And the next, if you want to explain the concept of a planetary system, with that solar, of course, sun at the center, around the sun various planets revolving around the sun in elliptical orbit. Okay, they are spinning around itself and revolving around the sun. Elliptical orbit means the equation of the ellipse is x square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1. Clear? So x square by a square plus y square, that is the reason. So here a and b, of course, when you take an ellipse, one is a minor axis, other one is a major axis. If you want to explain how the seasons comes, when the sun is at this one of the foci and earth is here, it is so far about it, then it comes under the winter and rainy season. When it is closer in this particular area, from this area to this area, means sun is very nearer to the, of course here earth is very nearer to the sun, means of course the sun rays directly fall in it, the path and the time taken also less, so we feel very hot, correct, very hot. That is most important, clear. So means here a and b, with respect to a and b, how the seasons comes, how the temperature changes, am I correct, all these things, and we can understand the planetary motion also, as per Kepler's we can understand this. So all this, if you say all these words, but all this based on one formula, of course, called as x square by a square y square. You know that Sommerfeld, one of the greatest scientists, he introduced that. So as per Niels Bohr and other scientists, the electrons are revolving around the nucleus in a circular path, but the Sommerfeld said no, electrons are not revolving around the nucleus in a circular path, it is revolving around it in elliptical orbits. Okay. So if the science teacher want to say all these things, he has to use the mathematical concepts. So first you have to say, so if you want to say the x square by a square plus y square by b square equal to 1, it is a quadratic equation, of course, in two variables, x and y. So don't say directly ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a is greater than 0 and abc belongs to call it as quadratic equation, then you have to solve the equation x square plus 2x plus 3. It is not the way. How the chapter is connected with the general life, daily life situations, then you have to give that information. That is the most important. You have a pair of linear equations is there. So how the pair of linear equations means here, for example, railway tracks, they are parallel, correct. What is a parallel lines here? So why they are not intersect anywhere? So we can explain by using inconsistent equations. When the a1 by a2 equal to b1 by b2, which is not equal to c1 by c2, then those are called inconsistent equations. They have no solutions, means they represent the parallel line concept. Clear? Like some other expressions means here, like general transactions. So if you doesn't know anything, then you will say x. Okay. Or if all the things are known, but you want to express in one term, also you can x. So like where you are using x, what is meant by x, what is meant by variable, and what is meant by constant, and how it is constant, how can you say it is a constant, but you should inculcate the daily life situations in it. That is the reason we try to give more number of word problems in the textbook, clear, and the teacher also has to explain those things in the word problems. That is most important, clear. Okay. Now coming to the arithmetics, okay, you know that arithmetics is the most important and very simple it is. So in arithmetics area, we can say so many areas will comes, time and distance, work, okay, work and of course money, and of course the other one work and time, or ratios, proportions, okay, profit and loss, simple interest, compound interest. Of course all this comes in the areas of arithmetics. You know that simple interest and compound interest is not away from our daily life, it is a part of our life. So you want to invest some amount in the bank, so for a certain period, for 1.5 years or 2 years, how much interest you are going to get it, and what kind of interest it is, whether it is a compound interest or simple interest. This is very important. Okay. So you have an emergency, just you put your gold ornaments into one of the gold finance institutions. So after 3 months, how much I am going to pay? So whether they are using a compound interest system or a simple interest system, that is very important. Profit and loss means every business people, so they have to understand the profit and loss, whether they are educated or not, they know all this mathematically, that is immaterial. See, for example, a fruit seller, you want him, so you will purchase for fruit some particular area, you will calculate. So I have to sell all these things in a certain period, otherwise some of them will be wasted. So he has to calculate that amount also. There are 100 apples, he has to sell down all these 100 apples for 4 days, otherwise some of them is spoil. So he will calculate that thing else to get profit. Okay, so how much loss is getting, how to calculate all those things, because now the people are of course are very interesting in the business, they are expecting they will get some good business. So if they want to improve the business, they have to announce some promotion techniques by giving rebate, by giving dividend, correct? In stock exchange you will get dividend. How much dividend I am going to give to customers, but I have to get some amount as a profit. Okay, they have to know that. Am I correct or not? Percentages, how much percentage increases, how much percentage decreases. Okay, what is a profit percentage, what is the loss percentage. Now we are using one more called as percentile. You know that without knowing the percentile, or you know the difference between a percentage and a percentile. This is the most important. We are using the word commonly, but difference between percentage and percentile is very important. Percentage means here, for example, their examination is for 100 marks. The children got 84 marks out of 100. Then we will say it is 84%. Correct? Okay. The percentile means here, for example, for 100 marks examination, the highest mark in the examination is just 48. Okay, just 48. And of course, the people got it, of course, one of the guy got it as 25 marks out of 100. Correct? As per percentage is of 25%, but as per percentile it is the maximum mark is okay 48. Correct? And he got only 25. Okay, so you have to calculate, that is 25 by 48 into 100. So it's more than 25%. Correct? Is it? Are you understand this? This is a most important. That's a percentile and a percentage. So you have to understand that. And it's not a new one. I am not using the words as a percentage and the percentile. So here, generally in GATE examination or other examination, we will say with respect to percentile. That's the reason some of the guys will got 98.5 percentile or 99.8 percentile, like they will say. Clear? So like you have to give the application of that time and work. Okay, now see, the people will comes, for example, I want to make whitewash to my house or coloring to my house. Then when the people will comes, they will ask in 2 ways, sir, so if you give the contract to me, so you have to give the 25,000 rupees for painting of all these things. I will bring the total material and the labor. Otherwise give for 14 or 15,000 as a labor charges for me, like they may ask it. Okay, how he is going to calculate all these things? Means how much time it takes, how much amount he has to pay for his labor, how much amount he is going to be spent for the color and paintings. Correct? So he will calculate which is a profitable for him, so he will choose for that. Means there is calculations are there. So he has to calculate what is the profit and what is the investment he is going to invest, how much profit he will get it. Everything will be calculated in mind. He is not using pen and paper and calculating that. Means the profit and loss will be a part of his life. Am I correct? Not only his life, so it is a part of every human being life who will take a business transactions in their daily life situations. So like you have to explain those things. Time is also very important here. So if you want to say the live telecast from 4 to 5, so means 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock means we have to understand 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. when it is a 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. That's also very important. Okay, how of course the clock will, whether it is a clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction, because this is a very important, how the of course either minutes hand or the hours hand moves, that is will be called it as a clockwise direction. Okay, and the reverse side we will call it as anti-clockwise direction. So we will apply the same in the angles. when we are rotating that axis in a clockwise direction, it is called a negative, we will say minus, and if it is in an anti-clockwise direction, we will say it is a positive. See, this is very important. So clockwise, anti-clockwise means like you have give the information to the children, all these importance of this. Like arithmetics is mostly it's immersed, involved in the daily life situation. It's not away from the general life or the life situations. Am I correct? Okay. Now coming to the next one is the geometry. You know that geometry is a very important area, and the geometry, for example, I am giving a small example. So surveying, you want to construct a plot in a particular area. How much plinth area will be there? I mean, plinth area means how much area you are going to construct it, how much area you left for this as a surroundings. Okay, like you have to calculate. Every building constructor should have the idea about these things. Some are in triangular shape and some are in rectangular shape, some are in square shape. Like different kinds of shapes are there. You have to know the perimeter of the shapes, and you have to know the area, how much area it covers. For this, geometry is very, very important. Understand or not? So we will make so many designs. Okay, so if you want to do the so many designs which is a similar and symmetric, okay, then all these concepts should be there. Similarity, symmetricness, all these things is a part of geometry. Correct or not? And you are going to make some things like toys. Okay, for example, if you take a joker, then you will take it like a joker toy. For example, if you want to apply the joker toy here, so you can say like, so this is nothing but a cone shape, and this one is a circle, of course, sphere shape. It's a combination of two, a cone and this one. Even you take, for example, you suffered with a disease, then the tablet shape will be like. So when you consider this, it's a cylinder. These are hemispherical. It's a combination of a cylinder and hemispherical. A water tank also in the same. If you take a hut, for example, the shape will be like. Am I correct? It's an hut. Hut shape means here it's a cylinder will be there at the top, and a cuboidal shape will be there. So means so you always that. And already I said, for a tube light, if you take, it's a cylindrical tube light. Am I correct or not? Even I am using a chalk, a piece of chalk. It is also cylindrical shape. I am using a board. It's a rectangular board. Correct. So like everywhere you are using the mathematics. So without mathematics, nothing is there. Now, and the next coordinate geometry, when you see the coordinate geometry, so coordinate geometry is a 2-dimensional geometry, a 3-dimensional geometry, a 4th-dimensional geometry. If you want to understand the behavior and the attitude of the celestial bodies in the universe, you have to understand the 4th dimension. And the 3D moves, so now you have 3D animations, 3D moves, all these things under the based on the 3-dimensional coordinate geometry. Correct? The total present system, total technology based on 3-dimensional. So without coordinate geometry basics, you can't understand this 3D animation or based on 3D geometrical areas. Am I correct? So like, so everything is connected to the daily life. So we have to apply those things. And next, data interpretation, we come to that, and the statistics. Statistics, if you want to know the mean, median, and mode. So now previously we will go to one tailor, we will give the measurements to our dress of our dress, and we ask them to stitch. Now there is no time for us, and the same time the tailors also very less. So we will be based on the ready-made dresses. We will go to the shop and we will ask to the, they will see, they will observe our physique, and they will say, sir, for you 42 size is enough, sir. So they will give, so it's fitted to our body. They didn't take any measures of that. Am I correct or not? Means, sir, according this height, he is some 5'5" or something, is and is okay, is a medium size people. Of course, then this 42 will be according to shoulder size. He will say 42 size will be suitable for him. And according to waist, so 34 or 36, so the pant will be comes. So means here it's a, we will call it as this one is a mode. And if you see the chappal size, there may be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 like. So just we will take it as the height of the people of like this one. So generally the size of this children will be, of course, or the fit will be either 7 feet or 8 feet, like, so they will decide it. This is called mode. Clear? So mode has this kind of application, and one is a mean. Approximately I have this much money, and when you add all these things, finally you will get, when I distributed equally, each one will get this much of this. If you are using these words, definitely it based on mean, sum of the quantities by the number of quantities. So mean is not a different one, it's a part of our daily life situation. Okay, so like each and every one, even median also, you can say what is the middlemost one. So what is the middlemost one among all this? We can explain those things. So these are the daily life situations. So without connection of daily life situations, there is no mathematics. So clear? And mathematics is totally connected. You can't. It's like a both sides of the same coin. You can't divide it. You can't see in a different angles. So this is the most important. Every area of mathematics is connected with the daily life situation. You have to speed. Okay, even if you want to take it as speed. Okay, when you travel upstream and you travel downstream, so there is a velocity takes place. That's a very important. Okay, even bike riding or car driving or something, it's when the curves comes, then you have to follow angle of banking. That's a very important. You have to reduce the speed. You have to take more radius, turning radius. Correct. So like you can give enormous number of examples how each subject, each chapter is connected with the daily situation. So please, I think so you understand all these things. You have to apply. So I'm using two aims for this through these live classes. One is, so it should be highly useful to you in the classroom transaction. You can apply. If you apply it, you can enjoy with the teaching of mathematics. At the same time, the children also learn concept. And the second one, most of you viewers can of course qualify for the their Gurukul, which of course Gurukul entrance examination. I hope both will be get success. Thank you for listening. We will meet with another concepts of mathematical pedagogy on the next class. Thank you.